Underway. Here we are, live on the Off the Radio Show. Facebook Live with Santa's Waves with today's guests. I can't believe you're on here again. I cannot believe it. I should charge you rent. Today I have this tall drink of water who just swam that whole thing right behind her, the Monterey Bay, in absolute record time in 12 hours, 42 minutes. Got the rest of it.
14 seconds.
Got the rest of it in 14 seconds. Catherine Breed's on the show. She goes as Cat, right?
Sure, yeah.
Perfect. So Cat, let me ask you a question. What the hell are you thinking?
Oh God, I don't know. I just wanted to keep up with Kim.
Well, actually, to do that, you gotta now you have
to do it the other way.
Now you gotta do it the other way.
Are you gonna do it the other way?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe let's do it both ways.
There you go.
A double?
No.
No double?
Probably not. I like getting somewhere and being done.
Done?
Yeah.
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 Do you think you do it backwards?
Swimming? Oh, the other way.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. There's other things to be done.
Swimming started for you when and how and why?
I was 4 years old.
Right.
I did summer league swimming like every other kid. I loved being in the water. When I was around 9 years old, I asked my mom if I could give up all my other sports and just swim. I mean, I was doing soccer, softball, figure skating, which really isn't a good sport for someone as tall as me.
Yeah. Are you a figure skater?
I did it for a few years. I think I got like 5th out of 5 in one of my competitions.
You were bad.
It was really bad.
So you do suck at something.
Yeah, figure skating.
Yeah. That could be a good trivia question later on.
Sure. But yeah, so, and then I swam year-round with the Pleasanton Seahawks, and I wasn't really that fast until I was about 13 or 14, and then I all of a sudden went to one meet and got my Olympic trials cups, and I was like, oh, I'm a decent swimmer. So I swam for the junior national team, got recruited for Cal. When I was at Cal, I was on 2 NC2A winning teams, competed at Pan American Games and some other things.
So there's a lot of people, I'm sure there's a lot of people try out for a Cal swim team, right? Right?
Yeah, so you don't really try out necessarily for college sports. It's more you are recruited.
Right.
Yeah.
You recruited by them?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. Is the Olympics something that's in your horizon?
No. That ship has sailed. Yeah. I went to.
Did you compete in the Olympics at all?
No. I qualified for Olympic trials 3 times.
Yeah.
Went to 2 of them. In 2012, that was my closest. So I went to semifinals in the 200 free. I had some other things going on in the background. So I didn't make that team. But then I think like a month and a half later, I swam at U.S. Opens and made a time that would have qualified for the team.
Right.
But I don't know, like maybe if I'd gone to the Olympics, I would have been doing open water swimming right now.
Right.
So.
And open water swimming, I call it marathon swimming. How did you get involved in that?
When swimming at Cal, Terry McKeever was our coach, and she really wanted us to love the water, to be strong women and to love the water. And then if we do those 2 things, we'll be fast swimmers.
Right.
So for her, we actually would come, her house is just over here, and we'd come and we'd play in the ocean and body surf, and so I loved the water, and I never lost that love. I know a lot of college athletes get out of their sport and they're tired and they don't want to swim anymore or do their sport. So anyways, I finished, I wasn't ready to hang up my suit.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who was like, you should join the Dolphin Club. It's this club of crazy people who swim in the bay. And I was like, yeah, all right, like a group sailing in the bay, why not? So I joined the Dolphin Club, and I actually went to my first swim. It was a few weeks after an ACL surgery, and I had a knee brace on, showed up in crutches, did my first swim. I think I won it. And I was like, I like this.
On crutches? Just swimming on crutches and you win?
No, you don't need the crutches in the water.
Okay.
You just have to swim. And I was like, this is a fun community. So I just started swimming more and more, and people, such as Amy and Steve Walker and Cam, some of the greats in our sport, were like, you're pretty good at this. You should set some bigger goals for yourself.
Right.
So that's when I was like, all right, maybe English Channel or maybe Tahoe. And that's kind of where I thought it would end, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it continued.
But I'm still doing it. Yeah.
You so can you let us know? Tell us which swims that you've done.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll try to remember myself. My first one was Lake Tahoe. So that's
Not across, but lengthwise.
Yep. South to North Shore, 21 miles. And I actually am a big skier, so I go to Tahoe almost all winter. So I love just like every time I see that lake. And then I did the English Channel. I did.
Were you the record holder in English Channel?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a fun story. But North Channel, so that's Ireland to Scotland.
Which is brutal.
Brutal. It's 52 degrees.
Right. Who did I interview? Who did that swim?
Andrew McLaughlin.
Andrew McLaughlin, is that his name?
Andrew McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And he talked about the lion's mane jellyfish.
Yeah.
Did you bump into a couple of those guys?
Well, so actually I went at the beginning of the season, so the water was really cold.
Yeah.
And when the water's cold, they are below the surface.
Okay.
So the lion's mane are like 3 times bigger than a sea nettle.
Like the size of a Volkswagen, right?
I think they can get pretty big, but they're huge, but they were all right below me. So I was swimming over hundreds of them. And I only got stung once at the end, and I was like, that's pretty good odds. So the cold was bad, the jellyfish were there but didn't sting me. And then 2 weeks after that one I did around Manhattan, so that's like 28 miles. That year I also did Scar.
You did that one with Robin, right?
Manhattan, yeah.
Right.
It's so
See, I know
fun.
got my
Yeah.
open water
Oh,
knowledge.
Manhattan's a blast. I mean, at one point we were going faster than the cars were.
Yeah.
Because you're just in the current and you're like, this
Because
is a
you're
lazy
flying.
river.
Yeah,
It's great.
Right.
Beautiful. So
Right.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I did round trip Angel Island this year. I think that's it. I've done Scar, so it's a series of lakes in Arizona. I've only done 2 of them.
Right.
But yeah,
And the Monterey Bay.
and Monterey Bay.
Can you? I want for the listeners to understand what it's like to give me 100 yards. Talk to me about even just 100 yards out there, 12 miles. What it's like, what you see, and what you go through.
Like when I'm in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something. Just give just a general picture of what
Sure.
of what a human's going through.
Yeah, I mean, for one, what I see is nothing. I could see the outline of the boat, Ricardo's green light, and the bioluminescence. So you really do lose your senses out there. Like I can't hear anything because I have my earplugs in. I couldn't see anything. My tongue is salty, so I'm not tasting much of anything. So it's a very weird place.
Is it uncomfortable, or you just?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, the first like few hours I actually felt kind of sick to my stomach, and I think it was a combination of nerves from the wildlife that I couldn't see anything, but your body can sense when there's things around you, and
Yeah.
Monterey Bay is teeming with life.
Teeming.
There's from things that could hurt me to things that can't, but you can sense that there's life around you and not being able to see it.
Right.
So my body's like sensing that this whole place is alive. I can't see anything. So I was like, felt a little nauseous, honestly. But then I settled into it. And I also, having a great white run-in in Aptos right here, I just had that ingrained in my head.
Right. 'Cause we talked to Scott yesterday, like, a great white's going to come visit you and check you out.
I'm sure there was one there.
Yeah.
I mean, I swam over a mola and it freaked me out for a second.
Right.
But I mean, when you're out there, you're just by yourself in the ocean. I mean, I've got my crew with me. I know that they're there, but it's really a vulnerable place to be. Like, I don't have a wetsuit on. It's like me and my body's in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
And you just realize, like, you're really small.
So the first couple hours were hard. Then did you start to feel a little better? Did you get something to eat? How often do you eat? Like every half an hour?
I start at an hour, and then I eat every half hour.
Right. So you get to feel a little better after you eat?
Yeah, I do feel better after I eat. I mean, just getting to that 30-minute mark is like, oh, thank God, I made it to another 30 minutes.
Right. So are you slowly eating, or are you like pounding it down? You're trying to break a record, so are you just trying to haul ass across there?
Yeah, I mean, starting this swim, like the record, I think there's expectation and pressure of like anytime I get in the water, because I'm young and I still have some of my speed from college left. Like there is, maybe this could happen.
Right.
But this swim, I mean, I just wanted to finish it really. But my feeds are always fast, because if I'm gonna sit there for a minute and have a drink, it's gonna take. It's just gonna take a while,
Right.
So I like to get to hour 4 with like my feeds like 15 seconds or less. I take my drink. I use Infinite.
Right.
So
What are you
it's,
eating?
Infinite is a carb, has some amino acids, some protein in it, some electrolytes and caffeine, and it's just like 6 to 8 ounces of warm water in that, and that's all I had. Usually I'll have a gel or a treat around hour 4,
Yeah.
but I couldn't see. So I was like, I didn't want to be fumbling with like trying to open a package.
Right.
So I just stuck with that.
Right. When was the first time when you're crossing it that you could see something? Did the light come? Oh, obviously the light came up, right?
Yeah,
Sunrise.
but it was so foggy.
Oh, was it foggy?
Yeah, so it was thick fog. So she couldn't really see much other than the boat. We could see her.
Right. Put that
And
microphone up there.
we could
There you
see
go.
her, but the fog was so thick, and most of Cat Swim was at night.
Right.
So really, for a good visual, like for land, we were really close to the end.
Right.
Like with a half mile or less before
Still
you could you even see?
And,
Well, I saw land, I think we were like 4 miles out, and I saw it for like 30 minutes, and then it went away,
Yeah.
and then the fog came right back
Right.
in. But as a swimmer, when you're out there and you can see land, you're seeing the same land until you're 500 yards away. So it's
Right.
actually almost better that I couldn't see it, because that just gets in your head.
Right.
When I did the North Channel, I could, there's cows and sheep on the other side in Scotland,
Right.
and I could smell the manure.
Right.
And I was like, I can smell it, I must be close.
So a lot of people when they did that Facebook post asked what people were lathering on you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So I had zinc, it's Desitin, so diaper rash cream, and Safe Sea, which is a jellyfish repellent. It mimics the stuff on clownfish, so that I wouldn't feel the stings as bad.
Yeah.
So the reason I had the zinc on was to hold the Safe Sea in place. I didn't really need this zinc. You know, it's at night, I'm not going to get sunburned.
Right.
But I needed a vessel for the Safe Sea.
Yeah. So you got stung 55 times.
Yeah.
Is it like a little? What is it? Is it like a little nip? Like
You
that,
know,
or
it's
is it?
like, I
is
mean,
it like
I don't know
whammo?
if you can see.
Oh yeah, they're like lashes.
Yeah, it's so much better. But it feels like hot and stinging, and then it goes away after a couple minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like the immediate moment of it. It's like, ow, that hurts.
Yeah.
And then it goes away.
Did you get you just? So,
At night I got a bunch in my face. I
Yeah.
think one went up my nose. I mean, I was definitely like grunting a little bit, but I think part of it was me just wanting to know that I wanted the team to know I'm suffering here.
Well, it was funny.
I didn't even
well, she was suffering because
I-
she's texting me going, "I'm gonna puke."
I know.
No, I
She's
didn't
almost
get
throw
that
up.
kind of sick. I didn't get that kind of sick. But she, as soon as the first time you're like underwater, Amy and I go jellyfish. And
Yeah.
like we totally knew because we've both been hammered.
Yeah.
Amy more so, but we knew what was happening
Yeah.
exactly, and so we kept looking for them. Yeah.
But
She
you
was.
know,
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, it kind of got. I don't know if you felt this on your swim, but it kind of got to a point where you kind of wanted one to sting you.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
Get
then
it over and done with.
Right, that sounds
Yeah.
so bizarre, but it was like everything else was hurting so bad,
Right.
and a jellyfish sting, the pain was like a distraction, and
Right.
I could name it, and I could be
Right.
like, this is what's happening. But like, the hard part was when they wrapped around me. Like, I had one wrap around like my leg and hip, and that's annoying. But it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was. What's funny? She was texting me like, "You're the guys at the harbor, right?" I'm like, "I'm going to bed, right? I'm going to bed." And this girl, is getting in the water. I'm like, it was strange. It was weird. But through the night, I kept checking my phone, and you're like, "Neil, I'm gonna puke." Neil, I'm puking.
Well, it was
I'm
good.
like,
The conditions were good. They were glassy, pretty much. But for the boat people, it was the way it was rocking. Like, obviously, not doing enough ab work myself, is that every time we go over those
Right.
waves, and I love being on the boat, and I don't get sick,
Yeah.
but my a lot of ab work out that night, where you just had to, so that you didn't slam up against the boat.
Right.
But for the swimmers, it's kind of like this, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know, more so than any waves that are going to break over or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a much better ride having rollers like that
Right.
than white caps or
Oh.
across current with a wind break or something. Yeah.
I mean,
I-
that's why we swam at 9.
Well,
was
that's good.
because I'd rather have rolling waves than
Yeah.
white caps. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate swimming in white caps.
Yeah. And that's the reason. And for the audience, the reason you guys start at night is because there's no wind,
Yep.
right? That's the thing.
Yeah. We knew we had to be done around 10 or 11. So doing the math backwards, I was like, oh, we kind of got to start at 9. I didn't foresee it being so dark, but you know, it's.
And how did you know you were going to take off at that time? Was it something that's been planned months before, or was it a day by day? Check the weather, check the weather, check the weather, check the thing.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that was the day we were going. Usually for like English Channel or North Channel, you have a window, so you have 4 or 5 days where everyone's just on standby. For this one, it was just, this is the day we're gonna go, and I was pretty adamant of not wanting to swim with wind.
Yeah.
So I think, seeing the wind coming in, like starting in Monterey around 10 or 11, I was like, I want to be done before that. So there was conversation about starting around 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I think I pushed 9 p.m. a little bit.
Got to the other end, just stood on the sand.
Yeah.
How long did it take afterwards for you to think, because you're like a pretty driven girl, how long did it take afterwards to go, what am I going to do next?
She probably already had something in the hopper before she got in Monterey.
Right, because you looked like when I got that picture of she said sprinting up the beach almost, looked like, I'm like, she's damn running.
Oh, that was after I fell though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, like,
She
but how long did it take to like, okay, now what am I going to do? What's next?
I think once I realized, like, I mean, when I'm swimming, I don't know how many people are watching this, right? So once I realized how, I don't want to say viral, but like how much attention this one was getting in this community.
I did 2 Facebook posts.
Yeah.
One, you were at the harbor.
Yeah.
And one at the end. And over 1 million people watched.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But I think once I realized that, I was like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do now?
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. I'll have to keep it a secret or figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Farallons, maybe something warmer.
You want to go to the Farallons? With the sharks?
Yeah.
I guess if you swim out here, you can swim there.
Yeah.
So.
My poor mother.
Huh?
I said my poor mother.
So let me ask you. So, Kim, it's $8,000 to cross the English Channel with the boat support and all.
To take support with you, it's 10 probably.
Is there a cost here to swim the Monterey Bay?
Yeah. So we have either for our association, so you pay an association fee,
right?
And then you're going to pay a boat fee,
right?
No matter what swim. And then whether you pay a crew or coach fee or whatever, or fly or travel, that's all separate.
Right.
Right? So for the English Channel, that $10,000 is taking somebody with you to crew on your boat.
Right.
And you're there for like a week and a half-ish.
Right.
So you have your window. So for here, for Monterey Bay, for a lifetime membership, it's $350, $250 for the swim if you're not, I think, or 300, right in there somewhere. And I should know this, but and then the boat varies. So the boat depends on the fuel.
Right.
And for, I don't know what you paid for Brian's boat.
I paid $3,200. So I mean, as a young person,
it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Right.
That's when it becomes an expensive sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the training's free.
Yeah.
Ish.
Right. Ish. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay for like an indoor pool membership. I pay for my open water membership. I think for me, like English Channel, North Channel, I raised money, and I was like 50% of the proceeds will go towards like the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
And I would use some of it to help fund like paying for my crew or paying for the boat. But with this one, I could not ask friends or family for money. I mean, COVID is going on, wildfires, it's a really tough time. And it didn't feel appropriate.
Yeah. Well done. Let me ask you this question: I asked Scott yesterday. The highest moment for you and the lowest moment for you on that swim.
Yeah, I mean, the highest moment was, I think the bioluminescence where, just there was a moment in there where I just like had the biggest smile on my face in the water. I think it was pretty close to hour 4. And I felt great. It was gorgeous. The stars had just come out for a little bit, and it's like, this is pretty magical.
And let me, can I just interrupt for that thought for a second? So even Scott didn't say, at the end, the beach.
Right.
You guys don't say, it was, I made it to the beach and touched the sand and kissed the sand.
That's a good moment too, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It's right up there,
Like the swims, a part of the swim was the highest moment.
When you see the bottom come up.
Oh my gosh. When I saw the kelp, because I mean I've swam by San Carlos Beach, when I saw like the seals on the buoy and the kelp, I was like, oh, we're so close. Like, when Greg got in the water, I almost said to Greg, I was like, let's race. but I was like,
Yeah. No, 'cause you'll kick his ass.
not bad.
And the lowest moment?
Lowest moment was, I think probably like around 2 or 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. It was just, the fog came back in, it was dark. Ricardo, my paddler, was feeling really ill, which I kind of found out after. So it was like trying to figure out like what's going on with him. It's dark, there's not going to be light for a while. That was just a hard moment.
Yeah.
But you know, you just do one stroke at a time, 1 feet at a time.
Right.
You just keep going.
Right. And you know, still, I mean, I think a lot of light being shone on the sport within the last week.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think I know you're trying to raise money, right?
Mhm.
And if you want to talk about, please talk about raising money, and I think maybe raising awareness for the sport.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the young ones doing the sport. I mean, I know there's other ones that are young, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so I always say like my passion is swimming, and within that passion has been bringing people to swimming. You know, since I was 13 years old, I've been doing private swim lessons, like from the Special Olympics all the way up to adults when I was at Cal. So
Right.
I've always wanted to be a facilitator for people learning how to swim. It's never been a job for me. It's been, I want to get you in the water. And in college, I worked a lot with the Boys and Girls Club in Oakland, and you know, just trying to like get access to water is really hard. So, you know, when George Floyd's, when that happened, it really kind of sparked a conversation in our community of like, what can we do in the aquatic community? And so on June 19th, we had a swim out. And that swim out was kind of a call to action for the aquatics community to look internally of how can we be more diverse, more inclusive.
In the Bay
more
Area, or is it just locally where you were at?
in the Bay Area.
Okay.
In the Bay Area. And so partnering and working to raise money for diversity in aquatics is about empowering people to have the opportunity to swim, to be able to say, I want to learn how to surf, and go be able to find somewhere that they can learn how to surf. It's
Right.
about learning the history. I mean, I have a friend, Najee Ali, and he's an African-American marathon swimmer, and he does a podcast, Crossing the Lane Lines, and he talks about the history of swimming. And I mean, it's fascinating.
Right.
I would recommend anyone to listen to that. So for me,
The podcast again is what?
Crossing the Lane Lines.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
So, you know, for me, like, this is a journey that I'm on myself about, you know, what is the history of swimming? How can I be an ambassador to the sport? How can I bring swimming to more communities? And it's a work in progress for me too.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to be very honest and vulnerable with, like, I'm trying my best here. And I know I have a lot of work to do.
Right.
But it's just about, like, starting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I was coaching, I coached the Harbor High School, which is right over here.
Mhm.
If you know what Harbor High School is, it's right here in Santa Cruz. I coached soccer for 10 years.
Awesome.
And then when I took over the program, I said to the kids, you know, they never done it before. I didn't realize they haven't done it before, but we're going to go down, we're going to play soccer on the beach. We did some beach soccer in Brazil. Great training, right? And all the Hispanic kids that were on the team, they had no idea what the beach was. They'd never been before. The school was 2 blocks from the beach.
Yeah.
It was
So
amazing. I just couldn't, you know, and so I think there's a lot of kids that don't get introduced to the beach or the ocean.
Totally. I mean, it's about asking, like, why is swimming, why are aquatic sports, I mean, this is about swimming, yes, but it's about so much more. It's about surfing, it's about prone paddle, it's about scuba diving. Like, why do they lack in diversity so much? And it's about all of us, like, reflecting on that. And that's why, you know, it's like, it's Santa Cruz. Like, you guys do every water sport there is.
Yeah.
So how can, you know, our communities come together and make it more accessible?
Yeah.
when Najee spoke and
Yeah.
we were on that conference call or Zoom or whatever we have these days, right? He had some really good information and the whole program had access to good information, and one of the things that I was looking for with the diversity in aquatics is to have a center hub where you can get that information. And so here in Santa Cruz County, we do have, I wrote little notes down so I don't forget, countyparkfriends.org. They're a nonprofit partner to Santa Cruz County Parks.
Okay.
They focus on equity and access.
Good.
And Mariah Roberts runs that up, not only to swimming, but also to swimming. So I worked with her and several other people as a task force to get donors to raise money for kids for free lessons.
Very cool.
That started this last fall, so before COVID.
Yep.
And they had 2 cohort groups to be able to go through, and then as they're going through the third one, COVID hit. So right now for those children, so that they're still getting swimming, they at Simpkins Family Swim Center, they have kids in the warm pool with family time. So those kids that were in that program are not now out of the water for months on end.
Yeah.
Shoreline Middle School is right next to Simpkins Family Swim Center here. They have a swim program within their PE program that's run by the school district, and there's 2 volunteer coaches there that help. 80% of these children do not know how to swim in junior high. They are literally 2-3 blocks from the beach, and they do not know how to swim. 80%.
Yeah.
So I see that program. I do some swim team with Quicksilver there. I do private lessons, masters, like whatever. You always see me on the deck there. Right now, a little bit different with COVID. But those kids have that as part of their curriculum every year. And I think it's really important. So countyparkfriends.org is a hub to, let's say, as Quicksilver, we have scholarships available, and we're not filling them. We can get a hold of her and say, we've got scholarships, we need to fill them. Can you find us some kids?
Right.
And then she reaches out to find the kids, or the kids come to her and say,
cool.
we want to learn how to surf. And she can then connect them with people. Our swim team, Quicksilver Santa Cruz, just got a grant from USA Swimming for diversity and inclusion for our Watsonville facility.
Cool.
It's on hold because of COVID, and the pool is not yet open down there. So we do have that available for southern part of the county. And then coming up, Catton's going to come with us and do an open water clinic, and we're kind of working on that.
I've got her next swim in my mind.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
And I was just gonna say, I think Me Water Foundation is also down here, right? Me Water Foundation with Ed. It's focused on surfing and bringing.
Ed Guzman?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
so, yeah.
Ed, yes. No,
Yeah.
Ed, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should go back. I think you should do it backwards. No?
I need maybe a year or two to.
Yeah.
What do you think your next swim's going to be? What do you think it might be?
I don't know. I mean, Fairlawn was pretty high up there. I'm loving staying in California for my swims.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was born and raised here. I've sailed the coast. Like, I think for me, it's the local swims are fun. I don't know. Maybe a Golden Gate Bridge to Mavericks. Like
That'd be kinda
something
cool.
Yeah.
interesting.
That's not just as bad as here.
Yeah.
But I think you should, talk to kids and let kids know what you did, and
Yeah.
you'd be a big inspiration for kids. And
Yeah, I think, swimming is such an incredible sport. You can
Yeah.
do it, like, every body, like, any body, like, physical body can swim. And I think that's what's amazing about it is you can do this forever.
Yeah.
And so I just, promoting open water swimming as, like, an option as a sport that kids can do is pretty cool.
I mean, the only professor I knew, we talked about that, the only professor I remember from university was my swim coach,
Yeah.
and my geography teacher, and my swim coach.
I mean, a 16-year-old just swam the English Channel.
Yeah.
Vera Rivard. I'm like, that's a
Yeah.
badass.
She's pretty amazing. I've never met her personally, but some of the friends, the swim community is amazing. And there's Did You Swim Today on Facebook? There's these great groups where people from all over the world comment we had bacon and toast and tea on the beach today in Brighton, and
My hometown.
and Vera Rivard, if I'm saying it right, she's done some ice swims, and some friends of mine back there, Elaine Howling, and then that whole community, then you just start seeing what people are doing, and it's amazing.
She's not one of the athletes that's one and done. You talked about some athletes that
Correct.
do
No,
do
she's
long
not
distance
gonna-
swimming. You got plenty to do, right?
Yeah, I love swimming, but I do think it's important to take a break. So my year is pretty much divided up into like 6 months of skiing and then
Right.
6 months of swimming and training for my swims. So, I'm doing Catalina in a few weeks, and then I will hang my suit up and get into ski shape and enjoy skiing, and then come March I'll get back into swim shape.
Catalina, LA, right?
Yeah.
That's the one about Robin.
Yes, yes.
Once she got pushed by the whale.
Yes.
So I was just listening to a podcast too. I forget the name of the woman, and she got hit by a shark.
Oh yeah, and she didn't know,
And
right?
she didn't know, and
Yes.
she did the whole swim. She didn't
Robin
know.
got pushed by the whale.
She pulled a
Didn't
tooth
she?
out of her hip.
I think she did.
In Catalina.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
woman pulled a tooth.
Out of her hip. Yeah, she didn't even know she got bitten by a shark. Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Swear to
Yeah.
God,
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember who it is, but yeah.
I know. I want to say I don't think it's that.
It's
I don't know,
a
it's something
small
about the-
community. So when the stories go
Yeah.
around, you know, then
Yeah.
pretty soon you meet the
There was a
people.
little fish, and then there's a big fish, and the big. That was
Well,
I mean, I think
15
it was a
foot.
pretty big bite.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you do anything differently than what you did the other day? Would you do anything different? Or is it like, that was perfect?
You know, I think. Don't hate me for saying this. I think that there's a way to maximize currents and tides, and I think Monterey Bay doesn't have a lot of information on that, and we're learning it as
Yeah,
we go.
absolutely.
So
yeah.
I think it'd be really cool to, you know, maybe try to like see if there's a way to manage that. You know, to like use the currents over the canyon to your advantage instead of having it hit me head on. But there's an information out there.
Have
Right.
you talked to
There's
Mark?
not a
Have you
lot.
guys talked to Mark Sponsor? You know who Mark Sponsor is?
No.
He's the forecaster for Mavericks,
Okay.
and he may be a good guy. He knows
Yeah.
every drop of water, where it's going. What he knows. I mean, he could tell you within 5 minutes when that show is going to, when that swell is going to show up,
That's
or when Mavericks is going to
Right.
show up. So
Ricardo's there this morning.
Yeah.
Or was. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the only thing I would do different. I would have the exact same crew with me. I'd be fine leaving at 9 p.m. I'd wear the same bathing suit, eat the same food.
Right.
So the things that I could control, I controlled perfectly.
Who are the
Or I'm
people?
happy with how I
Who's your mentor? Who are the people you look up to in this
There's
sport?
so many people.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. I mean, Amy's a huge one. Kim, I didn't know you before this, but like Kim's definitely gonna be a mentor for me. My friend Cameron Bellamy. There's, you know, swimmers up in Oregon, Cindy, and hopefully she'll hear this. You know, Jamie Monahan, Sarah Thomas. She did 4 English channels.
Right.
Like, the swimming community is really small, and because it's so small, we all have to support each other. And I think women crush marathon swimming.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
really?
Yeah.
I agree. I
So,
agree. I agree with you
hands
there.
down.
So,
Yeah.
gosh, I mean, I have so many people that support me along the way.
Yeah.
I just,
And once again, some people, can you tell me the websites that people can go to
yeah.
that will help you financially?
Yeah, so if you go to my website, beyondtheblackline.com, there's a PayPal link for Diversity in Aquatics, and I'm collecting all the money, and I'm going to give 100% of the donations to them. And then, you know, I have blogs on there. You can contact me. You can also check out diversityandaquatics.org and donate directly to them if you want, and you can join their cause. You know, the black line is referring to the black line in a pool, and it's about going beyond, you know, beyond this black line, beyond the norm. So.
And if you don't swim, don't be afraid of not swimming, because there's people out there that want to help you swim.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's lots of people that
Yes.
want to help you swim. So if
I
you're-
mean,
Yeah.
don't let the stereotype effect cause a narrative in your head that says you can't do this, you know, because you've been told you can't swim. So it's, you know, go out there and just play in the waves for 5 minutes, and you know, I think
put your
it is.
toe in the water.
Put your toe in the water. It's
Right.
it's amazing.
It's a mental laxative,
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
you know?
And so if you're looking to get in the clinic with Catherine Bree,
Right.
Quicksilver Santa Cruz,
Okay?
and we will have some dates. We're working on dates right now.
Okay?
Hopefully before the end of October, be 1-hour clinics in Santa Cruz on a Saturday or Sunday.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks.
I hope it was not too bad.
No, it was great.
Once again, totally unprepared. The only person that shows up
I
with
know
notes
she
is
should have
her.
the notes. I'm like, I don't know.
Notes.
I didn't want to forget, like statistics. It makes a difference.
But
you
thank
know?
you very, very much.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I wish all your endeavors, and I hope you come back to the deck again and
Yeah.
talk about your next swim.
Thanks.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. All right. We did it.
Cool. That wasn't too painful.
No,
Did
heck
I do
no.
okay?
Yeah.
You did good.
It's always like saying too much or not saying enough.